welcome you all to this edition of Stress Management 101, Techniques to Avoid Burnout with the Career Mavericks. I'm Philip Dunn, the program manager here at USBC, and on behalf of our president, Ron Busby, our board, and our staff, I want to thank you all for registering to attend and for your continued support of USBC. Now, before we begin our program, I want to remind you to continue to register for our webinars at usblackchambers.org/webinars. I want you to be sure to register your business at buyblack.us and consider pursuing certification. Now, today I have the esteemed honor and privilege to host the very special guests, Alicia M. Campbell and Jessica Sinclair, the Career Mavericks. But before I do, I have a special video that I want to share with you all, and then I'll bring you the Career Mavericks. Please watch this video. Hello, I'm Philip W. Dunn, Program Manager here at USBC. Now, if you are a Black-owned restaurant or food services company, listen up. The USBC Restaurant Grant Program helps restaurants receive funding to address business opportunities and current challenges. Now, the fund is made possible by the Grubhub Community Fund, and it'll support over $500,000 in grants to Black-owned restaurants and culinary-based businesses in select cities like New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Chicago, and more. Now, the first initiative of its kind, this unique partnership launched to support Black-owned restaurants by giving them access to capital and resources to ensure competitiveness in a changing post-COVID-19 restaurant landscape. Now, this includes new technology, equipment, staff incentives, and building enhancements. So grants will range from $2,500 to $10,000 based on program criteria. Now, the size of the business need and the need itself will also be evaluated. Application submissions for restaurants in New York are currently open, and they close this Friday, September 16, 2022. So there's still time. Now, rollouts to other select markets will continue over the next 6 months. So please check our website for additional funding rounds. Now, for those who are interested in participating, please visit https://usblackchambers.org Grubhub to apply. I want to thank you all for tuning in today and continue to look out for different opportunities that we have at USBC to help increase access to capital and to help increase and improve your businesses. Thank you all, and we'll see you soon. All right, welcome back. Now, that was our Grubhub program. We have some grants that we're giving away to select restaurants and food-related businesses in the New York area. Now we are back to Stress Management 101, Techniques to Avoid Burnout with the Career Mavericks. And I'm here with our very special guest, Alicia M. Campbell and Jessica Sinclair, the Career Mavericks. Jess, Alicia, how are you guys doing today?
Hi,
Hey, Phil. Really excited to be here.
You know, I'm always glad to have you guys here, but you guys are here on a very timely day. Today, a group of medical experts recommended that adults under the age of 65 be screened for anxiety. So this Stress Management 101 that you're going to be delivering today is going to be a very timely topic for everyone, anyone of our constituents that's dealing with anxiety and stress. So I'm going to turn it over to you all and let you all help us out with Stress Management 101. Take it away.
Thank you, Phil. So welcome everyone. As Phil said, burnout is so real. It happens every day. So you're in for a really good presentation. So today's session objectives are: let's talk about stress, tips to successfully manage stress, and how to use stress for your advantage in your business. So we are the Career Mavericks. My name is Jessica, as Phil mentioned before. I am the founder of Network Like You Mean It, and I'm an award-winning best-selling author. And Alicia Campbell, CEO, is the founder of the Culture Shift HR. She's an award-winning DEI strategist and best-selling author. We both here have collaborated through networking, meeting on social media. If you're just tuning in for the first time, you should definitely, click onto the YouTube links to see our presentation on branding. We're both entrepreneurs who really understand how stress and not managing it well can really hinder your business and growth. So Alicia? So stress management, you're going to learn tonight key concepts.
Awesome.
So this is a quote by William James. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. So throughout this presentation, you will also hear more quotes that will help you understand how to manage stress. So let's talk about stress. As a nurse, knowing that persons get injured and they react, and everyone obviously reacts different to pain, your body responds different. And this is called the fight and fight response. Every situation that you go through, 100% will basically attack your body, even if it's a cut, mental health. You have all of these different neurotransmitters that are going off at the same time. Emotional, behavioral, and mental are the three major counterparts where persons have stress. So we are here to help. As I mentioned, I'm Jessica Sinclair, an RN, and also Alicia Campbell. And we are here to give you tips and tricks on how to manage stress. We hope that you learn something tonight that you can go home and share with others.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica. When we think about stress management and we really understand the impact that stress has on our bodies, as Jessica just shared, it affects us mentally, physically, emotionally, our behavior in so many different facets. Stress can be so harmful to us. And when we layer that on top of being business owners, being entrepreneurs, the stress level can skyrocket. And so it's important we understand the different facets and layers to stress, because as entrepreneurs and business owners, we are at the driver's seat. We are always focused on our business. Our brains are never shutting off. We're always dealing with demands of not only the business, but our family lives, our personal lives. And, an 8-hour day can quickly turn into a 16-hour day very quickly. So as Jessica mentioned, we are here to really debunk and go through different elements of stress management, but how you can manage stress and actually use it effectively to ensure that it doesn't bog you down, to ensure that it doesn't affect your health, and to ensure that you can actually utilize it to tap into something powerful. So before we get into those amazing insights about stress, let's first start at square one. What makes something stressful? So the first thing we need to understand is that there's key things and elements that align to when things become stressful. The first thing is when a situation or circumstance has strong demands. So this is when the circumstances can be high pressure situations, deadline driven situations, things that could be make or break or very critical to your business. So for example, I know for myself, tax season is always a stressful time, getting my papers together, working with my accountant, aligning the books, reconciling everything. It's a lot of stress and pressure, because if you forget a receipt or if you lose something, that can be a very, very critical moment. So understanding that things that are deadline driven can be very stressful. And so it's important that we understand and be organized, which we're going to talk about later on in more detail, to ensure that anything that is deadline driven is something that we're not being crunched to minute by minute, but we have time to do, we have time to get help and support, and really not feel the pressure of things that is demanding. From there, the second thing we have to be mindful of are situations that are imminent. So situations that are imminent are things that are very demanding and the circumstances are very time critical. So things that can help our business be successful, or things that are very critical to the decisions we make in our business, those are situations that can increase our stress. So situations that are imminent, for example, if it's time to expand your business because you just have no more capacity based on the volume of work you're getting in. You have to hire, you have to change store locations, you have to expand into maybe new cities or even new countries. That is going to happen based on the volume and the trajectory of your business. Now, it's a good thing, it's a happy thing, because who doesn't want their business to expand? But that type of pressure and intimacy of something can be incredibly stressful. So we want to be mindful that is very key, and that's where that planning and insight of where your business is going is going to help manage the stress level. From there, we also have life transitions. When we think about starting a business and we think about how we grow and scale a business, those are very, very critical times in our life. It was funny, before we started our session today, I was talking to Phil about the work Jessica and I do. And, Jessica and I, we've known each other for years, and, Career Mavericks, is over 1 year old. And that's been a massive milestone. We continually get booked by other organizations. We're continually busy, but that in and of itself is stressful, because not only are, we managing the brand, but managing our own personal lives and our other businesses as well. So these things in life transitions, from either getting older, moving, how your business is expanding, things in your personal life, all these life transitions also make things stressful, because it means change, it means new habits, and it means a new way of doing something. From there, we have timing. So deviation from the norm. Timing in business is everything. And as much as we would love to control something and be in control of what's going on, that is not always possible. So it's important that we understand that as things deviate and as things change, that is going to be a stressful situation in our day-to-day. So we have to be mindful of what are these patterns that are changing, what's causing this type of change. Again, if your business is expanding, that's great. But if you now have to update suppliers or change things in your operations, this is going to increase the amount of stress, because you're building new habits, you're building new patterns. From there, desirability. So when our businesses are growing and when things continue to expand, those are overall very positive circumstances. But also the demand on our business, the desirability for our products, what we do, that could be incredibly stressful. And the reason is because if we think about the pandemic that we are still in, and that has been such a critical moment and event for businesses, there's been a massive supply chain issue. So a lot of organizations and small businesses that are product-based and need supplies and things to build their products, they have had major months of backlog. If there's anyone on this call who has tried to order furniture or a new appliance, you probably waited a minimum of 6 months because things are on backlog. So even the desirability of what you want, or the desirability of the products that you need for your own business, that can be a high level of stress. And then last, it's control. We don't control everything as much as we would love to, and as much as we feel that we need to control every single thing that happens to us in our business. Unfortunately, we don't have that type of power. And so knowing that we don't have control, or that we feel control is slipping through our hands, that can be a very stressful situation. Because if we can control it, we feel we can make it better, we can make it more effective. So it's important we understand that when we try to control things, that could add levels and layers to the stress of our situation. So it's important we understand how stress comes in all different shapes and sizes, so that we're able to really understand how we can let go of control, how we can manage our time and schedules better, how we can understand the different demands on situations in our life, and be able to utilize tools and techniques to help us manage these things in a more productive way. And so we're going to go into some of those tips in more details in the upcoming slides, but wanted to share those key elements with you. So now we are going to talk about how to handle stress, tips and tricks with Jessica Sinclair. Oh, Jess, you're on mute, hon. You're good.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Right. So how to manage stress. Break down the problem and uncover the cause. Figure out the known and the unknown. Break it down into small, manageable pieces. Break it down into people, places, because it's very easy to feel anxious. I know when you're networking, you may lose a business card, taking a picture of it instead of having the physical, like figuring out little ways to just figure out a small problem is a solution to getting anxious. It's better to manage smaller things. Take a break. As entrepreneurs, we're always on the go, especially if you're a small business, you wear many hats, right? People, you have to network. You also have to make decisions on the business on the back end. You have to hire. So you want to invest in yourself. You are basically the company's best asset when you have your own business. So you have to spend time with things that truly matter and use your time in a systematic way. I like to break things as prioritization. what are the top 3 things that I need to manage of the day versus have a list of 10. That's really unrealistic. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs do that. And also that is how you can really get yourself worked up. So you want to spend time on the top 3 things that you can manage. Who can help me? What is your support system? You don't want to necessarily waste time on persons and critics who don't know anything about business. I always tell persons, surround yourself with people who have the same mindset as you. It'll help you in the long run. You won't feel as nervous to talk about what you want to develop or what you want to do with people who don't get it. It's just a waste of time. So you're wasting your time and you're going to be more stressed out because people don't get you. Surround yourself with people who do. Family, some family members can support you, some aren't. So you just have to figure out how to manage that. And that's just by spending time with those that get it. Reboot and recover. Avoid burnout, but understanding that you just have to shut it down for the night. You can't burn an engine and you have no oil in it. Our body is very sensitive and everyone's body is different. You know, you can't watch someone else and say, oh, well, they stay up all night. Their mechanics are different than yours. So you have to really understand your body. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later when we go over vital signs. I think everyone should know their baseline. A lot of persons come into the hospitals, they don't even know that they're tachycardic. They have no idea what I'm saying or what the doctors are saying because they don't have a clue what's going on with their body. So understand that sleep is very important. We talk about that all the time. Alicia and we always laugh. Like I took a break today and you have that guilt, right? You know, it's even the guilt makes you stressed out. So you have to understand, right? Alicia, she's shaking her head. I'm like, darn it, I slept in a little bit. And I'm like, I needed to. And then I feel guilty. And then I don't feel well. I'm like, oh, my heart rate starts, increasing. So I know when my body's reacting because I know what's my baseline. You have to know that. I think you should. I shouldn't say you have to, but it's something that you can just jot down on an app. They have tools that can keep everything together for you on your smartphone. So the next one, take care of your body. I'm very big on a positive mindset. I posted on social. We shared on our page, the Career Mavericks page. Please check out our page. Affirmations, everything. Your body's very holistic as a whole. And your mind really is where most of your strength is exhausted throughout the day. I can't tell you how many thoughts come into your head. And it's just the only one that gets through that you really honestly may need to know, right? Or it's just something that's stuck. You have so many great things going through your mind. You have to know when to meditate, when to say, I need to take a pause. And it's okay to me sit down in silence. We don't do that in our community. People who I surround myself with, they taught me about that. And they were my Asian counterparts. But you have to be able to learn from other persons and see if it would work. And I think meditation is really big. It really helps slow down your heart rate. And affirmations, saying words of encouragement to yourself. I don't think we share in Alicia the 21-day affirmation, but if anyone's interested, I can definitely email that to Phil. For those of you that actually want to test something out, 21 days of just saying great things about yourself. Just 21 days, we walk our body every day. And some people can't do it. I know it was hard for me. I mean, I can do something else, I can figure out, that 1 minute of time you want to do something else. But I think it's important to at least try it. There's 10-day ones, so you can figure out what works for you. Drinking 6 to 7 glasses of water, very important. The average person's walking around dehydrated, and that is just really a minimum. We don't drink enough water. You can put lemon in the water. You can put these, I call them these little powdery agents. I don't know, vitamin D packets. I don't know. I love water with lemon. But those things help with flavor. You can get your free ones. So really just understand that there's other things that you can do to incorporate more water in your diet. Eating nuts, eating fruits. Those are high energy proteins that you can munch on throughout the day. I used to get really terrible headaches because I would skip a meal. I mean, how many of you entrepreneurs, raise your hand? I wish I can see you, right? You skip a meal and you're like, I'll do it later. And it's like, oh my God, it's not the day left. So these things, fruits, those are the things we're supposed to be eating anyway for our body. Those are the carbohydrates that keep our body afloat. Vegetables, the vegetables that have starch in them are good. You just have to figure out your body and have things available so you're not starving it. Watch your sugar. Sugar is public enemy number one, especially in America. You have to watch your sugary intake, period. You cannot think that you're going to get energy or even thrive in the day if you're lethargic. Sugar is lethargy, okay? If you haven't heard it, you heard it tonight. It's not going to work out for you. You're going to not get to the next level because you're always going to be tired. Jotting things down on the Queen Post-it. Alicia knows this. When we have our meetings, and I'm like, Post-it, girl. Oh, look what I have, a Post-it. Can they see me, Phil? Okay, I don't know. Yeah. So you see that. I love a Post-it and a pen because ideas are always flowing in my head. I don't know. And I love to jot it down. Put things down on paper that you honestly can manage. Don't have a whole book here. It's not a book. It's a Post-it. It's there in a square for a reason. 3 things. 3 things. I love that rule. What can I achieve right now? The first 3 things that are important. We have apps out there. I believe it's called Asana, Google Calendar. I'm trying to get more into that because I write notes for everything. Alicia's laughing. I'm like, oh gosh. You know, kind of old school with it still, but I'm getting there. So figure it out. Have a balance. I do tech and I do, because you got to go with the times, people. You're going to get left behind and your business. Nobody will do business with you if you're, you know, snail mailing it. But post it. And I'm a stickler with this. I really want to get better at this. My 3 days. What can I do in 3 days? What is important right now in 3 hours, 3 minutes, and even in 3 seconds? 3 seconds. Can I move things around? Am I flexible? You have to be flexible in business. You're going to be stressed every 2 seconds. Okay. You have to know when things need to get done, especially if you're a solopreneur. I'm a solopreneur. You know, it's hard, especially if you're still working. I don't know how many of you guys are still balancing corporate and, you know, and having a business, but you have to manage your time better. And I call it the 3-3-3 rule. You can jot it down, take a picture. And I think that's a really good way to start out, to see how you can manage things better. Learn to say no. Oh my God, that's hard for some, right? Saying no is an art. There's books on that. It makes people stressed out. You get anxious, your hands are sweaty. Also, that is a sign. If anyone out there you get very warm, you get very moist, you are stressing yourself out. That is one of the great signs of perspiration on your body. And when people have to say no, their brow starts sweating. You don't want that. You want to start mastering that from now. You can't be everywhere. You can't support everything. You got to be in your business, and you have to really be outside of your business. I say that is a goal right there. When you're in the outside of your business and you're not doing all the work, that's a goal, but you will get there. But saying no purposefully, you know, tell your family and friends respectfully, I want to be there. I want to be there, but I have to do this for the company. You have to learn when to put the time and energy into things and when not to. So learn to say no. Seeking professional help is very important. I cannot stress that enough. People out there, guys, will meet you where you're at. I think in any facet of business, right? You have a budget, you figure it out. Ask a person, you know, is this something that you're used to managing, or are you used to having a client rather that wants to talk about stress management or wants to talk about whatever it is in your business, because every coach is different is what I'm trying to say. Is it a business coach? You have all different type of coach. You have inspirational coaches, all of them, therapy. It's a way for you to go back and forth with someone that's not yourself. As an entrepreneur, you need an outlet. It can't always be you by yourself making decisions. They can help you professionally. I love to go there first, and a family friend, because they have a bias. They want to protect you, your family and friend. And we are already behind because we put our emotions before business as our community. Oh, so you really, I think you should invest that time and your money, have money away for that. because professional development is very important and seeking professional help. I put those two together. So you're not feeling so like, oh my God, I'm alone. You have help. And you have somebody also, guys, that have done it before you. I love learning from other people. I'm like, yeah, they did it. And they, I'm not going to say they messed up, but they did. And I learned from them. And people, real people, they want you to learn from their mistakes. They don't want you to go through that road of hardship. This is why we're here. We don't want another person that looks like us, gave up on their business. They didn't start because they don't know how. This community is so important for us to share our tips because it's not readily available. It's not. I'm keeping it real. We should know these things. A lot of the things we don't. So I'm just really happy to share all of this content with Alicia, with you guys tonight. I get really excited. All right, because it's so important. All right, vital signs, right? So this is what I was telling you guys before. Now this is Nurse Jessica speaking, okay? Now, all right, so blood pressure. Now this is really textbook, as I like to call it. This is a perfect scenario when your blood pressure is 120. Of course, life happens, the things that we eat, hereditary. We are known to have hypertension. So again, this is just baseline for what the Health Association wants us to have. Monitor it. The salt, I mentioned sugar before, that also will boost that sodium and the things that we're cooking. Watch your spices. Don't do too much high sodium things of that nature that will boost your blood pressure. Monitor it. And again, the water that I mentioned before will help things circulate in the body. So if you notice, let's say you're 130 over 80, and the next physical, you're up to 150, to me, that's a problem because that's a significant increase. And they're going to say, monitor it more closely. You may have to get your own blood pressure cuff. If insurance doesn't buy it or pay for it, you got to get it on your own. You got to prioritize your health, okay? But I always say, jot it down in a book. So when you go to your doctors, guys, everything is in there. You have a trend, and you know if this is safe for you or not. Your respirations is very big besides the blood pressure, because you're not going to be walking around with a blood pressure cuff. Let's be real, right? So your breathing is an exercise that I want us to do right now. It really is putting your hand on your abdomen, your stomach area, and realizing how you breathe when you're calm. I mean, you're home right now, you're listening to us, right? And just see your breaths in and out. And to feel the difference now when you're using your shoulders. Some people, this is a telltale sign when they're getting stressed, their upper body gets engaged. Now your breaths are shorter. And people don't understand that that is a sign before maybe a heart attack is on its way. I mean, I'm just giving basics here, but there's things that happen when we don't know what normal breathing is. You get too much CO2 in your body, you're not getting enough oxygen in. And so you get blued face, especially for dark-skinned Black people. And we have other mechanics that kick in. Your lips get very pink. These are worse exacerbations. I'm saying, guys, I'm not trying to scare you, but these things can happen quickly if we're not managing or even knowing what our respiration should be. So, deep breathe in and out, 1, 2, 3 in. I believe I have relaxation techniques after, so I'll save the breathing technique, but understand that when you're using like this, your shoulders and your heart is racing. That's the next one, 60 to 100. You have your jugular. If it's piercing, if you realize that your heart is just going so fast, have a seat, have a drink of water. Don't even think twice, because it's very easy for us to have a high heart rate if we're not having enough fluids, right? We have our waters, and the water sits on the desk all day. You can go on Amazon, and you can purchase these things that I see the nurses having. It's like, you did it. These bottles, and they motivate you. If you need the motivation, get the water bottle. And it cheers you on as you look down on it, and you get the water in, because, guys, I can't stress enough, water is universal to the body. We need it. When we talk, saliva comes out. When we cry, tears. It takes us time to, get more in, especially when you get older. I can go on and on about, vital signs and stuff like that, but I really need us to know what wellness checkups mean. Understand that 6 months to a year, you should be at the doctor. Some persons go every 6 months depending on their coverage, but every year you should get an annual. Even if you're an entrepreneur, figure it out. Be on top of your mental and your holistic body health, right? Very important. I told you about meditation. Oh, it's relaxation. Okay. So I told you guys meditation before. I tried it. What works for me is more the visualization meditation. They're both separate here on the list. But this one here is the traditional one, is what I'm talking about here, where it's no noise, right? You connect on a level with yourself and you detach. Square breathing is what I mentioned before. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 in, hold it, and out. I do this 3 times a day at work. I'm still a nurse and we do case after case. I'm all right, I gotta go in a corner really quick. 1, 2, 3, and all right. And I run back. It works. No matter how many times a day you breathe in and out, it's really good CO2 and air exchange for the body. That's why people do it when they want to get really quick back to reality or whatever they may be going through. Muscle relaxation, progressive, keep the body lucid. You have to work out, guys. You have to go for a walk. I went for a walk this morning. It was a really nice day. And I was out there. Be one with the thoughts. And you just keep your body moving. This here is what I love. And this is the link here that we can share in the chat. Just a quick relaxation visual here. And you can just hear how beautiful it is. Alicia?
Can you hear it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's beautiful. Real calm. I needed that. I don't know about you guys. I'm gonna continue on. It was so clean. And it really just makes you reflect on really blessings. Things will get better. I always say, as an entrepreneur, yesterday won't be today. And I needed it to be this visual because stress happens every day around us. And to just share this moment, makes me relax because we're giving information to our community, and we really want everyone to be their best selves out there, so you can reproduce whatever product or brand you have. If you're a solopreneur, you can still pay it forward, but you have to have your wellness and your stress managed. We are burning out, like Phil said earlier, about what's going on in real times. I mean, every day someone burns out. The suicide rate is up. All of these things, it's harder now than it was last year or the year before. Life has changed as we know it. We are in this together, and this is why this is so great. This workshop, and we hope that you guys, can tell others about it so they can manage their stress. But enough about us and this. We want. We did the affirmation. Oh, the affirmation.
Yes, we did that.
We did that because we really want to know any questions that you guys have coming up. Drop them down in the chat. Don't be shy, please. Now is the time. Alicia?
Yes. No, thank you so much, Jessica. And just to add to what you shared as well, like it's so important because especially as solopreneurs, we are the business. We wear multiple hats from operations to marketing to accounting to customer service, whatever that might be. So if you are the main cog in your business, focusing on your health is so critical, and more so your stress, because it's stressful, especially if you're just doing this all on your own. So these things may seem very small, and they are, but they are so significant. Even just watching that video for the 20 seconds that we did, my shoulders came down. I felt at ease. I felt like, yeah, it was just so nice. And it's like, you don't think that your body will react, but it really does.
Yeah, I'm like, darn it, Jess, you really haven't done this in some time. Shame on you. I really felt so good. Like, I'm like, keep on playing, girl.
Yeah.
Such a treat for us too, because we're just doing the work. But this is a nice time.
Yeah. So definitely take these insights in, from the water to the relaxation elements, whether you're using YouTube, even Spotify, they have relaxation music. There's mindfulness and meditative apps. There are incredible free resources out there for you to take advantage of. So definitely look at those, research them, be mindful, get in touch with yourself in terms of how your body responds, jot it down, recognize it, and you'll see how much creative you are in your business, how much more focused you are, how much more aligned you are to what's going on and to the environment. So again, these things may seem a little bit more like okay, yeah, this is not my scene. But trust me, your body is starting to communicate things to you. And the more you're in tune with it, the more you're going to be able to tap in and really harness that power. And so now we're going to talk about how do we begin to use stress to our advantage, because we can use stress to our advantage, right? Remember, when it's stress, that means we have heightened sense of emotion, attentiveness. We might get things done in a more speedier way. So how can we utilize that to actually push our businesses forward? So first and foremost is that we need to increase our self-awareness. And so as Jessica just shared with us, all the key ways we need to manage stress, we need to first notice when we are stressed out, because if we don't feel the stress in our bodies, we won't begin to take the steps to then mediate that stress. So by being self-aware, as Jessica said, having a bottle of water. If you haven't drinking any water and it's 9 o'clock at night, you better be drinking some water. If you haven't gone outside and just even gone around the block for a quick walk just to get that sun or that fresh air in, that's something you need to be mindful of. Majority of us are working from home now. I know myself, I'm working from home. Just she works from home when she's not at the hospital. Mm-hmm. So I know if it's lunchtime and I've been sitting at my desk all day, in this, 4x4 room, I got to get up, I got to walk around. And most importantly, I got to get outside. Even if it's just to stand out there, I lift my face to the sun, take it in for a second, and I go back in. Those things mean so much. So increase your self-awareness, because that refreshness will come back. And I bet you will be more energized, more focused, and more aligned than you probably were the whole day. So by increasing your self-awareness, you're then going to have the tools to actually take those things you need to take. From there, we need to get creative with our solutions. So when we're stressed, that means maybe we have a deadline coming up. Maybe, we have to figure out a solution to a problem. Maybe, our back might be up against the wall and something might be critical that we didn't expect that came up all of a sudden. So that's going to force us to be a little bit creative, going to think on our feet, kind of think outside the box. So use that as an opportunity to say, okay, I have a client presentation in 1 hour and I don't have my deck ready. What are some things that I can remember they shared with me that I know are going to wow them, that I know are going to take my idea and take it to the next level? Take that time, maybe do 10 minutes of meditation, get centered, get aligned, and I bet you your next great idea will come straight forward after that. So using that self-awareness, using those techniques will help you get more creative with your solutions, because you have a timeline, you have something, that type of pressure that's allowing you to get that job done. so you can impress the client or get back to work. From there, identify the most pressing priorities. When we're stressed, it's because we have probably 101 things on our to-do list. But are all those things A1 priority? As Jessica mentioned earlier, do I have 3 days, 3 hours, 3 minutes, or 3 seconds? If I have 3 days to do something, that's not number 1 on my priority list. That's probably number 10. But if I have a presentation in an hour, if I have a deliverable at the end of the day, if I have to get something out to a client, those are things I need to be prioritizing, and everything else comes second after that, right? So by having that stress, you're going to focus on those key deliverables, focus on those key elements that are going to allow you to focus and really get those things out the door. From there, increase your knowledge and find new opportunities. When we are deadline driven, or when we are faced with stress and we have limited resources, we have to get creative. That's when we are going to get scrappy. We're going to find new opportunities, find new ways to bring money into the business, find new ways to get help. The possibilities are endless. I know for myself, when my back is against the wall, or I'm like, listen, it's almost the end of the month and no new revenue has come in, Alicia, it's time to hustle. I go up on social media, I'm out there, I'm promoting a free webinar, I'm promoting discounts on my services, I'm re-engaging with old clients saying, hey, we're getting on to Q4, how do you want to end the year? Let's do some training, let's do something. And by the end of the following week, I have 2 to 3 new contracts, and that's not even an exaggeration. So by understanding that when you have that pressure, like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the month, I didn't close any new business, I don't want to have a $0 month, you're going to start getting creative, and you're going to start getting scrappy and getting new opportunities. And maybe those opportunities aren't just on you. Maybe it's partnering with, say, hey, Jessica, let's go live on IG and let's talk about each of our businesses and see if we can get some, new talks with the Black Chambers this month. Those are things and conversations that we have, because it's like we have great content, we have things we know that we've talked about. Let's bring this back to our audience and to our team. So by being stressed, you're going to think on your feet, you're going to get scrappy, and you're going to start to put together some incredible ideas. From there, develop new strategies. If you've been doing something and it's not working, stop doing it. Take a step back, use some of those meditation, visualization techniques, affirmations, all those things, and figure out, okay, how do I need to approach this problem? Because when you do the same thing over and over again, getting the same result, that's actually the definition of insanity. So what are those new strategies you need to be thinking about? I know Jessica was mentioning that she's a pen and paper gal with keeping organized. I know with myself, I'm very similar. My desk right now is covered in Post-its if I were to show you. But I also have an online tool that helps me keep organized, that reminds me and emails me of deadlines. Maybe I just need to get my business organized so I can figure out key ways that I can align to a better strategy. Maybe instead of going and doing a more local approach to my marketing and advertising, maybe I get a little bit more global. Maybe I put myself on different platforms and outline other businesses I can partner with and be strategic with. So it's really important we understand that we need to, as our business is updating and as our business progresses, we also need to be more strategic. I am not a social media person. I do not like social media. I'm not a fan of it in terms of like promoting my business, but I know that it's key. I don't like TikTok and the things that, you have to do on TikTok. But hey, if you look back on my old posts, I'm the one doing those dances with the songs and things, because that's what gets people attention. That's what gets people's eyeballs on your page. So unless you get outside of your comfort zone, you're not going to really see the opportunities that are available there. And then last, involve others to help. You do not need to do it alone. And when I say help, that doesn't mean you have to pay somebody. Ask a friend. If a friend has a marketing background or something that can help you, say, hey, can you look over my social media for me? Can you help me align to how to do this on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok? Or, hey, can you help me with this messaging that I want to send out to my email list? Get others to help you. Or even if you're like, Alicia, I don't have a network that can help me, they can't even help themselves. Trust me, I know what that's like. Then reach out and get some interns, or reach out to some community groups that have interns and volunteers. There's new grads that have just graduated with marketing degrees and communication degrees and business degrees and all the things. Ask them to spend a couple hours on your business, and then they have some great experience on their resume. You do not need to do this alone. In addition to that, YouTube is a great resource. The US Black Chambers is a great resource. Get help. You do not need to do this alone. Don't feel like you have to be alone, because you have a community, you have support, and you have people here who want to see you succeed, who want to see you successful. So tap into those resources. Okay, and then there's a last quote as we end off our session. The time to relax is when you don't have time for it, by Sydney J. Harris. This is so key, and it goes back to the key things that Jessica was talking about. And there's another quote that this reminds me of, is that if you don't make time for your health, you will be forced to make time for your sickness. And that is so true. So many times, I could speak for myself. I have run myself ragged where I am up super late in the morning and at night. I'm burning the candle on both ends, and my ideas are bad. Like, I realize that my work I'm turning out isn't bad. I'm not creative. I'm not strategic. I'm not my upbeat Alicia self. And it's because my body is tapped out. I'm tired. And so you have to recognize when these signs are, because there's no point of you being in business. There's no point of you being an entrepreneur, offering an incredible service or product to the market, and you are not your best, because your audience and your customers are going to see that, and you're going to lose sales. But when you are in tune with your body, when you're relaxed, when you're fresh, when you're aligned to what is going on, your clients will notice, your market will notice, and you will get more business. Jessica mentioned a couple slides ago about affirmations, and I tell you, that has transformed my life. You have no idea how positive visualization can literally change how your business operates, change how your life operates, and literally begins to manifest the things that you desire in so many different ways. And the key thing about affirmations and meditation and those types of visualizations is that the brain doesn't know the difference between what you have now and what you're hoping for in the future. So you could be saying, I want to have 10 clients by the end of the month. And you keep writing positive affirmations, you keep visualizing, you keep journaling it. Your body doesn't know the difference. And so it's going to act like it already has, which is attracting energy to then get those clients. I tell you, because it's techniques I've used. I've built my business off of it. I've been aligned in this way, and it can be absolutely transformational. So, this may be a little bit more out of the lanes for some individuals who are listening, but research it and try it yourself. These things are free.com. So don't worry if you're like, this isn't for me. Try it out, take the time, but realize that you are not alone, and that there are incredible energies and alignments that you can do to help relax you, to help get you focused, and help you get ready to be your best self for your business. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to listen in and to tune in. You have been such a great audience. Please do drop your questions in the chat for Jessica and myself. We are both entrepreneurs. Career Mavericks is just one brand that we have. Jessica is a lit MC. She goes to events. She MCs events. She hosts events. I'm a DE&I and HR strategist and consultant. We both run very successful businesses. We know what it's like to be an entrepreneur. We have gone through the valleys and we've stood on the mountains. So please connect with us. Email us if you have questions. Connect with us on social, our websites respectively. And let us know how we can help, because we know the pressure and the frustrations and the stresses, the lack of resources, all those things, and we have overcome those elements. So it's important that you know that we are now a part of the community to help support and to help uplift. So definitely, reach out and connect with us, because that's important. Mm.
Well, that's a good question. I mean, there's all different levels to everything depending on the person. I think worry just stays kind of in the mind. When persons are stressful, their body mechanics start to change. And this is why I said, if you're sweating more, that can be a telltale sign that you're getting yourself worked up, your stress levels are changing because your body's changing, your heart rate is going up, you're breathing faster, people who have situational stress, job stress, being a good citizen, all of these different stressors are going to affect how the body works. So there was worry, stress, and anxiety. Anxiety is really when you're fixated. Um, your whole day changes. You may not even go outside tomorrow. Your day of life changes. And you may need to be, people push the envelope. Should you do herbals? Should you meditate? Should you medicate? Anxiety can kill people, and it can isolate people. A lot of those medications are addicting because they love how they feel. They're more somber and things of that nature. So there's a big debate on anxiety because it's so easily used now with social media and everything. But yeah, you really have to just listen to your body. That's the number one thing.
Yeah, and I think too, if it's something that you're getting to the level of anxiety, as Jessica said, your body is gonna feel it, right? Like I would say a worry is something that's like maybe on the back of your head, like, oh, maybe you have a doctor's appointment or some type of thing that's due. It's on your mind, but it's not really affecting how you show up. A stress, it now starts to affect your focus, gets you distracted. And then anxiety, I would say, is full on blown. It's affecting your mental, your physical, your emotional well-being, and you see that in every element. People maybe have troubles breathing or panic attacks, or they recede and don't want to talk and just want to stay in their house or their room. So that's, I would say, anxiety is the highest level of a scale if we got to that point. Mm-hmm.
Question, Phil.
Yeah, that's a great question.
I think as a business who definitely, I guess, was affected by, there was COVID-19. I think we all were affected. And for me, it was just like you're playing the long game here. I think we need to really give ourselves some grace and say, okay, you had a good 5-year run and this was a tough year. Be grateful for how far you've come. Reflection is very big. And I think that we're looking at everyone else and we're not looking at ourselves, and we're judging our progression against society or Alicia's or Phil's. So I think gratitude helps a lot. And you're playing the long game right now. I think um, gas prices are going up. Cost of living is going up right now. What are we living in right now? It's no better than last year. I feel like I spend so much money this year than last year because of the big increase in price. You know what I mean? So what kind of life are we really living right now? To be honest, we just got to play the long game, and this is what entrepreneurship is about. If you're ready to give up, this is not for you. Point blank, period. You're going to stress yourself out. You're probably going to kill yourself. You're going to get a heart attack. It happens every time. And Black women are the ones that are coming in because we're managing so much more than our male counterparts now, more than ever. They're single women and they're about their business, but they don't get warning signs. And this is very serious. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, like women get stressed out just more than men, but we don't even know what's happening because our heart doesn't give us a warning. That's really big. You gotta relax. And if, like I said, you gotta play the long game. Else this is not for you. You just stay where you are and say you tried, because that's all that counts. Just try. But every day is different. You could lose your whole business tomorrow. What are you gonna do? Give up? Or are you gonna move forward? And that's what business is. Our business is very harder for us.
No, I think Jessica makes a really good point. And I think too, it's to know that your business is going to go through ebbs and flows. There's going to be months where you get no new clients. And I think it's how can you, if you haven't prepared for those times, or those times have come up to you and surprised you, Is there a small business loan you can get to kind of help tide you over? Are there other things that you could do that may not be your core offering, but might be still support your business? So for example, as an HR person, I like to work with organizations to do like trainings and things like that, but a lot of people have lost their jobs. So I pivoted to do career coaching and career counseling. And there was tons of people who needed that type of service at a very reasonable price. Is that my main offering and things that I mean, I enjoy it, but is that going to be my bread and butter? No, but it kept the lights on. It kept me being able to still do things. So think a little bit outside of the box. What are some parallel services or offerings you could do just to kind of help keep you mobilized and keep maybe some clients and some cash flow coming in? I would also think about, I know tons of women who sometimes, the business, it's been a couple months, things are slowing to start turn around, but they need some income, maybe getting a part-time job online. That can be very helpful just to bring in that extra income if possible, and just to find other ways to mobilize in that way. So, there's no shame in that. There's absolutely no shame in getting that part-time job, doing some extra hours just to bring in that income, because you want to keep your business and your family alive and supportive. So take that time. Don't be too hard on yourself. Connect with community. Community is everything, because you feel like you're just going through this alone, and you'll realize you're not the only one. So community and reaching out to people.
Yeah, for sure. I'm an entrepreneur and I still work as a nurse, and it's hard. I'm tired, but I got to get it done because I believe in my product. You got to believe in yourself. I wanted to give up a lot of times, but I couldn't. I love the people. So, you just got to just do it and know that you're trying. You're just trying and you love it, and you got to have passion. You got to love what you're doing, because it'll make the joy so much better when you're stressed out. You appreciate all the different emotions. It's a roller coaster. What can I say? But it's fun. It feels good. Yay! Girl, we love you, Phil. Yeah, just three. Just three. Start off there. Get it done. Okay, three more. But when you have post-its filled up, you're like, oh God, no, forget it. I used to do that. Oh my Jesus, a whole paragraph on here. Just three.